Hi, it's Choo again, from the previous video. I'm a full-time freelance illustrator and I've dabbled in a lot of different kinds of jobs at this point. Really, I've done a little bit of everything, from anthologies, album covers, poster design, apparel, concept art, etc. But my main focus right now is in comics, apparel, merch, and my personal art. If you're watching this right now, you probably know me mostly because you've seen my art somewhere on the internet. The style that I work in currently is a way I started drawing more, I would say, towards the last year of my TAFE studies, and it's the way I've been drawing for maybe, I would say, the past 6 years or so. Prior to that, I actually was mostly a traditional artist, if you can believe that. I worked a lot in gouache and watercolor mostly, and I really thought that I was going to be a children's book illustrator, which is very different from what I do now. I have always been inspired a lot by horror though, and especially campy 80s horror movies, and I've been told since the beginning that my work can come off a bit sinister even when I'm not attempting for it to be. I really honestly just can't help myself. I got my first art job while I was still studying. I was doing alternate cover art for comics. This was back when Tumblr was the only social media I had and posted on, and that's where I was found. But it wasn't the best paying job, but it was my first job in the industry, and it really helped me to get familiar with working within the industry. And from there I had plans to contact an illustration agency, try and get myself involved in some children's book work, but I ended up being contacted for other cover work and more actual comic jobs, mostly print jobs, and I kept taking them, and I had said to myself that I was going to get in touch with that agency once I was done with the next gig and the next gig, and now it's been about 6 or 7 years and I just never ended up having time because I was so busy and I never did it. Not a bad thing, I think. I'm a lot happier with this direction in my life and my career now than I think I ever would have been doing children's books. Even though working freelance can be really tough, it's also quite a privilege to be able to work on, honestly, whatever I want, and I wouldn't give that up for the world. Anyway, I hope you guys could learn something from seeing my old art. I just wanted to talk a bit about the progression of my career and show you some of that old work to encourage you all. I think you can really see some elements in my older work that continue to be present in my art now, and you'll likely see that in your own art as well as you work on improving. When you see an artist's work that you admire, often what you don't get to see is the years of trial and error that it took to get to where they are now. It took me years to get to the point where I was comfortable with my art process, and it's likely how it'll go for you as well. But even if you're not there yet, as long as you keep working on yourself and your art, you'll eventually find what works best for you.